Here's why mindset practices alone or thought work alone is not going to be enough to regulate our nervous system. Surprise, surprise. Thoughts are actually just a symptom of what is going on in our bodies. The state of our bodies, the physiology, and whatever it is that is going on internally in our bodies have a massive impact with the thoughts that we think and our mental health. And I'll explain this in a bit more detail. So we have our central nervous system, right, which is our brain and our spinal cord, as well as from our spinal cord, all the nerves come from our spinal cord all throughout our body and in our organs. And also because there are those peripheral nerves that are innervating our muscles and also all our organs, there's sensory information coming up from the body to the brain. So the brain influences the body, and also the bodily processes influences the brain. Now, there is this special nerve called the vagus nerve, which is involved in our stress response, and it actually is the biggest hub for our mind-body connection, as well as it communicates, it holds a lot of power in regulating our nervous system. So if we have a healthy vagus nerve, then we have a healthy nervous system. And that nerve in and of itself has a lot of nerve fibers going into the body, and most of the nerve fibers from the vagus nerve actually travel from the body to the brain. So there are more, at least 80 to 90% of vagus nerve comes from the body up to the brain, which is crazy, which means that our bodies have more of an influence than our thoughts alone. Yes, it can definitely help, but there's a lot more power in using somatic practices, which are body-based practices, to really help with our mental health. And so I'll give you a really, really relatable example in a minute. The feedback loop between the brain and body brain is continuous. So it's not just the brain influencing the body also influences the brain, and it loops. They have a continuous feedback loop of information. So sure, our interpretation in our heads influences our bodies, but also what is going on in our bodies is actually influencing our thoughts. So I'll give you a prime example. Have you ever been hangry before, like completely hangry? What happens there, right? You have sensory information from your stomach sensing that you are hungry either for food or something else, right? You are hungry, maybe it is for food, but your body is somehow sensing and sending signals. I am hungry, up to your brain, so that your brain, you start thinking, okay, I need some food now. I need to get some food now. And so if we don't have that food in the rightly timely manner, what happens? Cranky as fuck, right? Cranky as fuck. We start having hungry thoughts. We say things we don't mean. We are just not a pleasant person to be around when we're hangry. And that is our mood, right? That becomes our thoughts, the negative thoughts, because we are hangry. And once the body now gets that response and senses that there is food in the body, what happens? It says, okay, I'm good. My I've gotten my food, sends a signal up to the brain, and then our mood instantly becomes better. And we smile because we eat, right? Like it just lightens our mood. Our bodies have a big influence. And so this is really what I'm stressing in this, literally stressing in this video, where if we really truly want to optimize our health, if we want to optimize our mental well-being so that our moods are stable and we are a pleasant person to be around, and not only that, we actually take care of our organs in our bodies, then we need to take care of our body, right? We want to be able to um use our bodies to our advantage and truly listen to our body, because it has a bigger effect in our mood than we might think. And something really as simple as sleeping can truly help us out with this, recovering and making sure that we are hydrating, we're eating nutritious foods. These are the pillars to health, and there's a lot more. So the main pillars of health that can really help us to maintain and strengthen this mind body connection so we are in our best mental health and best mood is sleep. Sleep is a big one. I mentioned the stress response or stress management so that we can um so that we can manage the response in our bodies so that we're not always releasing the stress hormones which can wreak havoc in our organs as well. Movements, specific movements that we get to do for our bodies, because as you learned today, our bodies are very, very important. Making sure that we get the sunlight in. It's been known to be really good with our circadian rhythm, which has all to do with our sleep wake cycles, which again improves the pillar of sleep. And our nutrition and our hydration levels are super duper important. We talked about hunger today. And also a very important one is connection, social connection to people who support us, who matter to us, and also most importantly, arguably, is our connection with ourselves and being able to listen to us. So these pillars of health are really, really foundational. These are if you were to do any mindset practice, it would be to prioritize all of these things, because once we prioritize that, our mood and our thoughts are going to follow. So I hope that this was informative to you. If you have any questions at all, let me know, and I will see you soon.